B1 family, welcome to Black Logic. And this afternoon, we're going to really ask ourselves as a nation, are we at war with illegal immigration? Because given some of the tales, given some of the comments that the Mexican president stated, it has me to lean more so that we are at war. And when you're at war with another country or with other countries or with a movement, war isn't just not simply bombarding, shooting, killing, physical combat, artillery combat, bombs being dropped from the air. It could be much more than that. And the way that you can destabilize a country, the way that you can destabilize an economy is by overpopulating that country and giving that country the worst of what you have to offer, especially when it comes to human capital. Now, the Mexican president is demanding 20 billion in aid from the US to stop the flow of illegal immigrants coming into the border, because we understand that all of these illegal immigrants, all of these undocumented migrants, all of these unlawful people that are inside of our country are coming by the way of south of the border. Majority of them. There are some people who are coming north of the border, but majority of these people are coming south of the border, whether they be from Mexico or Central America, the Caribbean, South America, India, China, you name it, they're coming. And President Obrador wants the U.S. to send 20 billion a year, 20 billion a year to Latin American countries. And I don't know if that 20 billion is accumulative. I don't know if it's each Latin American country. And he also wants to lift sanctions on Venezuela. He wants to end the Cuban embargo, and he wants to grant amnesty to illegal immigrant workers in the U.S. Now, in one of these clips that you guys are going to see, he said that he wants immigrant status or for them to be U.S. citizens or them to have work authorization. He said the lawful abiding Mexicans or the lawful abiding Latinos in America, for them to be given, citizenship and or work authorizations. And I'm like, they're not lawfully binding in the U.S. because they're here unlawfully. They come under the veil. They come under the guise of asylum seekers, of refugees, etc. He also demands the legalization of millions of Mexicans living in the U.S. Okay, so the Mexican president, some people state that he suggests, some people label it as a threat or demand, but nonetheless, family, it has sparked controversy and debate. While the U.S. comply with his demands, that's the question. Will the U.S. comply with his demands? And I guess only time will tell. There's definitely some things we have to break down here, family, some things we have to look at as a people, especially this is the election season. Who will do best for the country given this illegal immigrant war? And that's what I'm going to call it. I'm going to call it a war. That's exactly what I'm going to label it. That's exactly what I'm going to call it. Well, I tell you, it's almost like can't get right when it comes to some of this technology. But nonetheless, I'm going to get right into it here, family. So, ultimatum. You know me, I like to start off with definitions. I like to do breakdowns every now and again. So, I feel as though that President Obrador has given America an ultimatum, a final demand or a statement of terms, the rejection of which will result in retaliation or a breakdown in relations, even though President Obrador himself stated that he wants to keep good relations with the U.S. I wonder why. Then what I like to call white male, not black male, white male. They want to label everything black as evil and bad. Nuh-uh. Flunk all that. That's what the L, not the U. Black male, also known as white male, in my opinion, the action treated as a criminal offense or demanding payment or another benefit from someone in return for not revealing, compromising, or damaging information about them. That's just one. Demand money or another benefit from someone in return for not revealing compromising or damaging information about them. It was one of these clips that I was looking at. Are American presidents being blackmailed? I mean, are they? Because once we get into it, family, you're going to see exactly what I'm referring to. Now, with this war of illegal immigration, and when my slow internet pops in, New York Mayor Adams is stating that the migrants are only getting $13 a day on these prepaid credit cards. But when you equate it for an entire year, there's some numbers that are projecting at $15,000 a year, but that does not include the welfare assistance that they're receiving, as well as all the other government subsidies that they're receiving. Okay. Here's a statement from New York City Mayor Adams. I'm just going to speed this up a little bit here, family.
Some immediate relief for all the cities that are involved. That's El Paso, Chicago, Denver, Los Angeles, Houston. You look at all of these cities, no city should be taking on the responsibility of a national crisis, and that's what we're doing right now.
Really want to talk to you about these prepaid cash cards that the city is giving migrants. I know you've talked about this being a pilot program. 500 migrant families will get $1,000 a month. Talk about the built-in protection so that there's no misusing of the funds. How can you guarantee that?
Okay, at first we want to be really clear. Each migrant will get about $13 a day, so it's not automatically $1,000 as it has been reported. And this is going to be part of our cost-saving measures. We're going to save $600,000 a month, $7.2 million a year. I told the team we must bring down the cost of migrants and asylum seekers, the cost by 20%. And this is one of those initiatives with a 500-person pilot project.
Have you noticed, family? Hold on for a second. This music is too loud. I do apologize. I didn't know it turned back up. I'm just going to turn the music off, family. My apologies. But if you notice, a lot of these mayors keep stating that they're going to save money. They're going to save money by aiding and abetting people who are illegally in the country and that are in your cities committing crimes, especially against your law enforcement agencies. And family, I just want to let you know, I'm not anti-police. I think for the white supremacists out there in the coon class, a lot of people in foundational Black Americans, we are not anti-police. We are anti-white supremacy. We are anti-race soldiers. We are anti-bad policing. We are pro-police. We want police. We want good policing. We want good law enforcement. We want people to protect and serve. Okay, not kill and lie. Okay, not kill and lie. So this is the statement that Eric Adams is stating, that they're only getting $13 a day. Okay, let's move on. Because I think what we're not noticing here is this $53 million price tag in prepaid credit cards, but no one's accumulated the money that New York City has already forked out for illegal immigration. No one's going over that. No one's talking about the millions of dollars that New York City has already provided for homeless shelters, for food, for luxury apartments. And I was reading kind of in the blogs that the $2,000 supposedly that a lot of people, even myself, was reporting on, that was false. That never occurred. It was an idea. It was a proposal, but supposedly it was never executed. But we can wait more to come when it comes to that. Now, it states here that the New York City will offer its surging migrant population 53 million. Family, what's the big problem with this? You're telling the world that America is forking over millions of dollars to take care of people for another country. If you are from a low income, a low impoverished, hell on wheels sort of country, then where's your next stop? It's going to be America. And people say, hey, man, you can just easily fly into Mexico. You can easily walk into Mexico. They're going to point you towards the border. And America has apartments and food and shelters and clothes and all of your amenities just waiting for you. They have all these things just waiting for you. Just like the guy here in the yellow and black flannel shirt. He like, hey, I need one more. I need one more. Whatever one more is, he needs one more of it, and they're going to provide that. It goes on to state here that the initiative of the Office of Mayor Eric Adams and Mobility Capital Finance aims to assist migrants with food. They're going to assist them with food expenses as they await authorization to work from the federal government. Cards will only work as bodegas, grocery stores, supermarkets, and convenience stores. But let me tell you, family, at these places right here, there is a lot of things that you can get. You can get some alcohol, you can get some tequila, no pun intended. You can get some rum, okay? There's a lot of things that you guys can get. It says a family of 4 can receive $1,000 monthly or $35 per day. Now, stated before, that's only $15 a day, supposedly, but now it's $1,000 a month or $35 per day. However, $1,000 a day when all your other amenities are being paid for is absolutely phenomenal. You don't have to worry about anything else. What else do I have to worry about if you're going to take care of everything? The $1,000 is a way for me to start a small business in America once you give me my work permit. And everybody's on board, family. Yeah, Mocalfi looks forward to partner with New York City to disperse funds for asylum seekers to purchase fresh, hot food. Oh, and by the way, New York City is running rampant with homelessness. I'm telling all my brothers and sisters, all my foundational Black American brothers and sisters who are homeless, learn, how to say "Comment allez-vous," or some French, okay? Because they're not going to believe you're Hispanic, even though they have Afro-Hispanics, Afro-Latinos. And if you can pull it off, go ahead and speak. Say you're from Dominican Republic or from Black Colombia. I don't know. You're from Brazil. You're Afro-Brazilian. Maybe speak some Portuguese, whatever the case may be, but get your foot in the door because they're literally soaking up and taking all of the resources, which they continue to tell us they're not. And at the same time, these city mayors, not just mayor, this not New York City mayor, not just Brandon Johnson of Chicago, but a lot of these so-called sanctuary city mayors are crying out about being overpopulated, having too many migrants, and not enough resources. That is the problem that they're running into, okay? That is the problem that they're running into, and now they want to cry. Now they want to cry foul. That is what they want to cry, okay? Moving right along, because I think this is important. I put together a couple of shorts for you guys. Well, I looked up a couple of shorts, and I really want you guys to listen in here. I really want you guys to listen in.
Says cartels are mass producing fentanyl, and the U.S. State Department has said that most of it is coming out of Mexico. Are they wrong?
Sí.
Yes.
No.
Or rather, they don't have all the information because fentanyl is also produced in the United States.
The State Department says most of it's coming from Mexico.
Fentanyl is produced in the United States, in Canada, and in Mexico, and the chemical precursors come from Asia. You know why we don't have the drug consumption that you have in the United States? Because we have customs, traditions, and we don't have the problem of the disintegration of the family.
But there is drug consumption in Mexico.
But very little.
So why the violence then in Mexico?
Because drug trafficking exists, but not the consumption.
He dissolved the federal police and
The head of the DEA.
So basically, the Mexican president is stating that the fentanyl crisis is coming within the United States and not external. Now, I want you guys to remember one of the broadcasts I was stating how there was 24,000 Chinese immigrants. Now, a lot of the precursors and the ingredients of fentanyl is coming from China. Now, I'm not stating that these illegal Asians, these illegal Chinamen that is coming over are bringing the precursor, bringing the ingredients to make fentanyl, but it suits the situation, does it not? And then it states that, okay, a lot of the fentanyl production is coming within the United States. So again, we are allowing illegal immigrants of all races, of all religious backgrounds, of all sexual orientations, with no discrimination, okay, except with probably the Haitians. But with that being said, now we have people who come from a country where they develop the precursors and the ingredients to make fentanyl, and they're traveling to Mexico, going through the southern border, coming into America. I mean, when we really add these things up, we don't think that these things are linked. And again, this is my conjecture, this is my bias, but this is me looking at it very simple. I'm not trying to make it more complex, but if I know certain things are coming from a certain country, and then I have a large influx of thousands, tens of thousands of people from that country, then I also have reports of Mexican cartels invading certain states and pushing fentanyl. And then I'm also having those people from those other countries come inside of America, being released inside of America, teaming up with those cartels. Then I can definitely lead to that it's being produced in Mexico, it's being produced in America, because now you have the same people who are creating the precursors and the same people who are dealing and manufacturing the drug in the same country. That makes sense. So, yeah, I believe he was leading a little bit, but at the same time, there's a lot of truth because, again, he stated that Mexicans don't do those drugs. Very, very little people in Mexico do those drugs. And I believe it because they push it to America. See, this is war to me, family. And I don't want anyone to jump on board with me. Do not jump on board with my term. Do not believe anything I'm stating that this is a war. I believe it's a war. I want you to come to your own conclusion. I don't want to cloud your mind about the way you think about this. I don't. I want you to come to your own conclusion. Now, this second clip here, family, right off the bat, this gentleman here was very, very disrespectful to the Mexican president. I just want to call that out first because for whoever's watching, I am not anti-Mexican. I'm not anti-Latino. I'm not anti-Haitian. I'm not anti anything or anybody, but I am anti-illegal immigration because it's illegal. With that being said, listen in.
Mexico doesn't want that. Mr. President, we're the United States. Mexico will do what we say.
No, no. El señor legislador, sí, es un irrespetuoso. Nosotros somos un país independiente, libre, soberano. No somos colonia, no somos protectorado de ningún país extranjero. Tenemos una muy buena relación con el gobierno de Estados Unidos, pero no de subordinación. El presidente Biden es respetuoso de nuestra soberanía, como lo fue el presidente Trump, porque cada vez que hablo con el presidente Biden, lo primero que me dice es que nuestra relación se tiene que dar en un pie de igualdad. Es muy difícil de que lo entiendan los políticos de Estados Unidos. Entonces, ¿qué es lo que hacen? Al contrario, en vez de buscar el diálogo, llegar a acuerdos y atender las causas, es utilizar, en el caso nuestro, a México, es decir, la culpa es de México. El problema migratorio lo origina México.
Lopez Obrador also had thoughts about Texas Governor Greg Abbott, who has fought with the federal government over enforcing immigration policy in the U.S.
El gobernador de Texas, para hacer propaganda, porque creo que quiere ser candidato a la vicepresidencia de Estados Unidos, va al río Bravo y pone alambradas y hace un espectáculo. Eso es oportunismo. Eso, con todo respeto, es politiquería. Eso no es serio.
That's not a serious solution.
No.
Lopez
I guess, family, the question here is the Mexican president making any sense? He's stating that Governor Greg Abbott of Texas, by putting in barbed wires and buoys inside of the water, is not a long-term viable solution. That basically he's stating we the president, and he's gonna allude to, by trying to finish and constructing the wall, that this is just political theater in order for one of the opponents to win the election once again, just as well as Greg Abbott. He's even going to mention that Greg Abbott is putting up barbed wire and buoys inside the water so he can be President Trump VP. Okay. And let me tell you, if Governor Abbott is trying to run for VP, more people are inclined to vote for Donald Trump by having Greg Abbott, because they're really strong on illegal immigration. Now, there had came out with some figures about Black Americans that at least 40% is now stating that they're going to be on the couch. Okay, they're going to be on the couch, or they're going to vote Republican. Good. I'm on the couch, but for whoever is not voting for the Democrat Party, good. Because what have you done? Not for us lately. What have you done for us? Period.
Obrador will not be in office when Americans go to the polls this November. His own term is up in September. But what he says about Joe Biden and Donald Trump suggests he wants to keep Mexico on good footing with Washington, no matter who wins the White House. You are the #1 trading partner right now with the United States. Do you feel Washington and the White House is treating you with that respect?
Sí, sí. El presidente Trump como el presidente Biden han sido muy respetuosos, los dos. Hemos tenido diferencias, pero hemos puesto por delante el interés general, el interés de los dos pueblos, del pueblo de Estados Unidos y del pueblo de México. Y nos hemos entendido. Y por eso somos socios económicos, comerciales. Cuando yo llegué a la presidencia, relación económica comercial más importante de Estados Unidos era con China, y luego Canadá, y ahora es México. Y deseamos continuar de esa manera, porque nos necesitamos mutuamente.
Very, very interesting stuff coming from the president of Mexico. I think a lot of things that people are not familiar with is that Mexico is one of our biggest partners in trade, one of our biggest partners in manufacturing. Next time you guys look to buy a new car, look how much of that car was actually formed, constructed, and built in Mexico. It states here the Mexican president warns migrant surge will persist if the U.S. does not take his suggestions. And we're going to cover this. Okay, we're going to cover this. 3 illegal immigrants accused of kidnapping a woman at Florida Park, raping her. Okay, so when people tell me, family, that crime has not increased because of illegal immigration, I call cap, I call lies, I call BS. Because statistics have really risen in Florida, Texas, Chicago, New York, Colorado, California, and the list continues. So if you don't believe that this is a problem in the United States of America, then why are these people still coming? Why are these people still coming? Because it's a matter of words, right? Words have meaning. People like to use words in their own particular way. Mexican president says the flow of migrants will continue unless the U.S. meets his demands. And I kind of read in my beginning context, my beginning dialogue about what he's stating. It says, in order for the flow of migrants to stop, that the U.S. should send $20 billion in aid to Latin American countries. That is what it's stating here, family. That's what it's saying. Hold on. It's always something popping up. Let me show you this very quickly. 20 billion to aid in Latin American countries. Mexico has reportedly taken some state-level actions to curb mass migration at President Biden's request, making crossings drop. However, the number of migrants began to rise again in February, with Border Patrol expecting another surge in the spring. Family, they were doing this during the winter. They were doing this during the winter. Now, Texas, in the south part of Texas, doesn't get that cold, but they were doing this during the winter. Can you imagine during the spring and summer, where the weather is great and people can easily track through the jungles or the rainforest, however they're coming through the border, and they're coming in large loads. And there's a double side of this. On Wednesday, I did a breakdown of the media. Now, we understand that majority of these people that are coming here are from Latin American countries, all right? And that has been, over the past 5 years, there have been a large surge of migrants. And to this day, a lot of people are not aware of President Obama's involvement in deportation. Okay, they had certain names for Obama. They used to call him, if I can recall correctly, the deporting chief or something of those terms. That he was deporting so many people because we still had large surge of migrants, but Obama was at least curtailing and decreasing by deporting these people back to their own countries. Okay. So yeah, you guys go and read these stories for yourself. I just wanted to break it down very simple for you guys, because when we look at this, he's demanding that $20 billion be given to Latin America. And of course, Mexico is one of those countries. Then he's caping for Venezuela. He's caping for Venezuela. He's saying lift sanctions on Venezuela. Now, this is why they're calling this political blackmail. They're calling this political blackmail because he states, if you want the flow of migrants to stop, then allow Venezuela to be a free enterprise and then do business with Venezuela. Because America is the powerhouse. America is the commander in chief of the world. We control 90% of the business in the world, believe it or not. Yep, that is a little bit conjecture. That's a little bit of my conjecture involved in that. But America, when countries, here's the thing. When your country is not approved by America to do business, it won't do business. So Venezuela is suffocating. There's only a couple countries that's doing business with Venezuela. One of them probably, North Korea, Iran, those who are not our allies, supposedly, people who are not part of NATO, etc. But he's saying lift the sanctions on Venezuela, end the Cuban embargo, and legalize, listen to this, legalize millions of Mexicans that are living in the U.S., then the flow of migrants will stop. But until you do that, we're going to continue to have them marching in nonstop. But he did state he would try his best to slow down and or stop the flow of migrants. And again, I call cap. But at least I'm stating what he said, okay? At least I'm stating what he said. But that's what's occurring. Now, New York governor, and this is how, family, this is such a war because it now has America confused, okay? New York Governor Kathy Hochul suggests supporting mob of migrants pounded cops caught on camera attack near Times Square. Okay? This is America that's imploding within. America is imploding within because, hold on. America is imploding within because we're having a rise or attack of police people that they are already illegal inside the country. And finally, someone is stating, you know what, we need to deport these people. Now, well, no. Here's the thing. Are these people going to jail? Are they going to prison? Or we're going to simply deport them and they're going to come back in the country illegally? Because there's been many claims that a lot of these people have continued to come inside the country illegally time and time again. Question for you, family. When have you seen black folk do that? When have you seen black folk jump the police? Don't worry, I'll wait. Let me read some of your comments. I see I got my brother Solid Snake trying to get back into my good graces. Thank you, Solid Snake, for promoting me, sir. I appreciate that. Although many are invading our southern border, one had to ask why they're so nonchalantly allowing this to happen. I think we may be in the midst of a planned purge event. My guess is Mayan solar eclipse. Oh, God. Oh, plebiscite babble. Come on, brother. Please help us. Plebiscite battle. But remember, family, the difference between conspiracy theory and truth is 6 months. Oh, God. Solid Snake, brother. If you started your weekend early, put down the bottle. My good brother, Jermaine Anderson. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. Appreciate my brother, Jermaine Anderson there. Thank you for moderating, sir. William McKinley, salute to you as well. My warrior brother, DSB. Nice to see you in the room. AD states that the Mexican president is asking for U.S. for $20 billion. We keep them coming in. The article is crazy. Indeed, it is. Sean West, forget them. It's all about cheap labor because all them unions were asking for money, more money, since Biden been in office. United States citizens still hurting from the pandemic lockdown. Now, here's the thing of all you guys' comments, except with the exception of Solid Snake, of course. I don't do the plebiscite Bible. I think it's true. I think everything that's stated is true. Not only do I believe the things that stated here, we also have to look at the replacement of Black Americans. We still have to look where these illegal migrants are being dropped off at. They're mainly being dropped off in Black neighborhoods with the exception of Martha's Vineyard. But then Martha's Vineyard put all of them migrants on buses and sent them to New York. So I believe that this is also part of a replacement because the Democratic Party has been seeing a decline in the Black vote for the past 2 terms. That's why Hillary Clinton didn't get elected. And this is why Biden would not get elected for a second term because they no longer have the Black support. Shout out goes out to Ron DeSantis. Thank you for criminalizing the word woke, but woke. Black people are now woke. So I hope he's enjoying that. Here, give me 1 second, family. There we go. I'm going to pop the sister's message up, but there's a couple of technical difficulties. We'll get through it. There are illegal immigrants, not migrants. Please stop with the political correctness. No, sister, I say it all. If you are subscribed to Black Logic, as you should be, please subscribe to the channel, give this video a thumbs up. But I say it all. I say illegal migrants, illegal immigrants, undocumented migrants, undocumented aliens, unlawful aliens. I say all the terminology. I want to cover all bases. But the key word here is illegal. Okay? The key word here is illegal. So don't you worry, sister. I call it out. I don't hold back anything. Now, I have another clip for you guys I would like to see. I want you guys' thoughts on this. Listen in. Uh-oh.
President Trump is saying he wants to build a wall again.
En campaña.
On the campaign.
But you don't think he'd actually do it because
No, es que
because he needs Mexico.
Because we understood each other very well. We signed a commercial agreement that has been favorable for both peoples, for both nations. He knows it, and President Biden the same.
But what about the people that'll say, oh, but the wall works?
No funciona.
It doesn't work.
President Trump is saying he wants to build a wall again,
En campaña.
On the campaign.
but you don't think he'd actually do it because
No, es que
he needs Mexico.
porque
Because we understood each other very well. We signed a commercial agreement that has been favorable for both peoples, for both nations. He knows it, and President Biden the same.
But what about the people that'll say, "Oh, but the wall works"?
no funciona.
It doesn't work.
President Trump
And this is why I don't take nothing that these politicians do as verbatim, because there's all sorts of deals, backdoor handshakes, backdoor signings that the American people do not know. That the American people do not know. Do not frame America as a democracy. Base America with the Constitution state. It is a republic. So once you select and elect a government official, they are conducting business with other countries on your behalf. And guess what say so you have, family? Zero. You don't have a say so in the business of the United States of America. Once you elect a president and they select their VP and they select their cabinet, the American people are powerless. The only power arises is every 2 to 4 years, whether it be state and local and federal elections. That's why we have to choose very, very wisely. Now, and I'm not stating for anyone to take my stance, meaning my sitting down on my couch of 2024. That is my voting. But voting your best interests, voting the best interest of your family, voting the best interest of your people. I believe the best interest of my people currently, because none of these politicians have done nothing significantly for foundational Black Americans, I will be on the couch. That's what I will be at. I'll be on the couch.
Lopez Obrador proposed his fix, that the United States commit $20 billion a year to poor countries in Latin America and the Caribbean, lift sanctions on Venezuela, end the Cuban embargo, and legalize millions of law-abiding Mexicans living in the U.S.
if they don't do the things that you've said need to be done, then what?
The flow of migrants will continue.
Your critics have said what you're doing or what you're asking for to help secure the border is diplomatic blackmail. What do you say?
I'm speaking frankly. We have to say things as they are. And I always say what I feel. I always say what I think.
If they don't do those things, will you continue to help to secure the border?
Yes, because our relationship is very important. It is fundamental.
When they start talking about relationship being very important, the only thing I can think about is money. This is all about money, family, in some form or fashion. And I believe that the things that you guys, you intelligent people came up with, I can agree to very, very easy. But this is about money. This is about the underminement of foundational Black Americans. All of this is part of a very large plan. And I'm not speaking in conspiracies. We just have to look at what's going on right now. Where are they dropping off these illegal immigrants at? Where are they dropping them off? Where are they dropping off these undocumented migrants? Where are they dropping them off at? Majority in Black neighborhoods. That is where they're dropping them off at, family. That is where they're dropping them off at. Sean West states, forget them, is all about cheap labor. That's what it's about. It's about cheap labor. Law and order, reparations, hashtag Black community, Tony Barnes. Sean stay, he'll be on the couch. Hey, man, what you watch? We're going to watch on the couch, man. There's some good shows. There's a really good show on Apple TV called Masters of the Air. They even showed, I think, in the 7th episode, the Tuskegee Airmen. It was a good show. It was a good show. That's where I'm going to be at, family. The point I'm making here is I'm going to be on the couch watching TV. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. Now, before we get out here for this afternoon, I know you guys have a busy Friday because people got paid. Woo, you got paid. A lot of you guys got paid. Go spend that money. Go have fun. Enjoy your lives. But we can't go without talking about reparations and how important it is to foundational Black Americans. And there's a couple of things I want to point out very, very quickly for people who are anti-reparations. and those who are pro reparations. This is coming out of Forbes. Now, hopefully I can get back to this, but Forbes, the name of this article, 21 Ways Reparations Can Drive Economic Recovery and Expansion. Okay. You got your usual suspects. And the first one here is nationwide reparations programs have the potential to be an economic catalyst. Reparations programs throughout the United States could greatly improve the standard of living in many communities and help relieve exacerbating income inequality, which is also linked to a host of other economic and social problems. Number two, improve infrastructure and services. Reparations could help improve infrastructure and public services in Black communities, and we need it. Investment might involve upgrading school, healthcare, transportation, other important services. Lower housing costs. We need it because a lot of Black Americans do not have their own homes. A lot of us is renting. Reduction in social and economic inequality, reducing the racial wealth gap. Very important, as we have been stagnated and stopped by the system of white supremacy. Don't have them fool you that you can just go out and pull yourselves up by your bootstrap because there's a few good Black people doing well. So if a few good Black people are doing well, then all Black people can do what they doing, which is lies. They always prompt up a few of us. They always prompt up a few of us in order to manipulate other Black people, thinking you have the same opportunity, thinking that you have the same chances. Number five, encouraging innovation and entrepreneurship, development of new businesses, products, technologies, and the services that benefit not only the direct beneficiaries, but the wider community as well. Number six, investment in healthcare infrastructure. We know what that's about. Health research and innovation, developing new treatments and interventions that can lead to breakthroughs in medical science and improve the overall health. Just like the gentleman, one of our Foundation Black American greats, Dr. Williams. Dr. Williams, he's the one who successfully did the open heart surgery. Okay, he was the first one to successfully do open heart surgery. Number eight, addressing social determinants of health. Reparations can improve health outcomes and promote health equity and help us come with better solutions with creating new opportunities. Number nine, supporting underemployed professionals in STEM. Now, we understand that STEM in America has been outsourced. It's been outsourced mainly to the Asian community. And I don't just mean Asian Americans. I'm not speaking to Asian Americans. I'm speaking to Asian immigrants that are primarily still in their countries to some degree. Those who come over here on H1N1 visas, those who take up, damn near over 65% of the tech jobs in America. You cannot go to any Fortune 500 business and deal with the IT department and not run into someone who is not Asian. You simply can't do it. And some IT departments are 90% Asian, 90% Indian. And this is not being, okay, I'm not being vulgar. I'm not being discriminatory. I'm just stating a fact. If any of you guys work for large organizations, when you go to your IT department, maybe you had to put in a ticket, a troubleshooting ticket for whatever reason, maybe on your Jira boards, okay? Maybe you had some issues in the work out. Maybe you're doing a 2-week sprint. You're dealing with IT in some form or fashion, and majority of those people are from Asia. Are they not? Thank you. Number nine, supporting, we talked about STEM. We have to get our Black children. We have to get our Black professionals in STEM. Science, technology, engineering, and math. We absolutely have to. I'm tired of Black people stating that, oh, I don't like math. Yeah, you do. You like money, don't you? If you like money, you like math. If you like spending money, you like math. If you need money to provide for you and your family, you like math. Okay? And math is the foundation of engineering, technology, and science. You can't have none of these without math, FYI. Number 10, improving supply chain networks, reparation programs, such as those created to address $326 billion in losses suffered by Black farmers due to discrimination, and land theft. This could greatly change our agricultural landscape. The loss of 15 million acres of land enforced by racially discriminatory laws from the U.S. Department of Agriculture for decades for the white supremacists and the anti-reparationists. Okay, this is coming from Forbes. So I know you trust the source. Do you not? For those so-called racist people on the left and on the right, the conservatives and the liberals, this is coming from Forbes, okay? They're stating that the Department of Agriculture enforced racial discrimination by the way of the U.S. government. And it states that it had a significant impact on the country's manufacturing production and distribution industries. And then there's another 11 of these families. You guys go check this out for yourselves. And just for context, for you guys can research it. Okay, because I tell you, I don't want you to deal in my bias. 21 wage reparations can drive economic recovery and expansion. Okay, you guys can go check that out for yourself. Now, here's something I want to leave with you guys. And I kind of started off my dialogue with this, and I kind of want to return to this. The Mexican president stated that the flow of migrants will continue. That's what he stated. So if we break this down, he's making it crystal clear that unless the U.S. bends to his will, the floodgates of illegal immigration will remain wide open. And we as Americans have to interpret, what does that really mean? What exactly are these demands, right? We heard the 20 billion. We heard lifting sanctions of Venezuela, the embargo on Cuba, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And the reason why a lot of you guys may not be connected with the 20 billion is because America just throws around billions of dollars for everything. So let me tell you like this. When we look at 20 billion, if we put that into perspective, that's roughly the cost of NASA's entire budget for a year to take us to space. And anytime countries are developing or planning to go to space, new technologies and innovations come out of that. So that 20 billion is used to advance America. What would that 20 billion be used in Latin America? Because here's the thing, family, if you guys go to the U.S. foreign budget, we already give money to Latin countries. What is this money for? To appease nations whose leaders have failed to address the root cause of illegal immigration within our own borders? Is that what it's for? I wonder who's going to argue that these demands are reasonable. Who will state when they see this video or here in the chat that the demands of President Obrador, the Mexican president, are reasonable? So we shouldn't be fooled by this. This isn't about humanitarian aid or compassion. This is about power and manipulation. Because let's talk about the legality for a moment. See, the U.S. is a nation that is supposedly built on the root of law. We have immigration laws in place for a reason, to suggest that we should simply turn a blind eye to those who flout our laws sends a dangerous message, not only to our citizens, but as I stated before, but to the world. Because if I'm in a poor country, the only thing I can imagine is saving up every single cent to fly, to drive, and to go on a ship to go to America. So I can enter into Mexico and enter the United States illegally, because we understand that New York, they're giving out credit cards, luxury apartments, New York, Chicago, they're doing the same. They're mimicking each other. Colorado, Hampshire, New Hampshire, Washington State, everyone is giving the illegal immigrants, the illegal migrants, the illegal aliens, everything that they're asking for and more, to the point where the illegal immigrants are getting disrespectful. They're giving America the middle finger. These people are attacking police officers. They are unaliving U.S. citizens. They are raping U.S. citizens. They are what they call them laws when you are homeless, not the vagrancy laws. When you go in someone's house or apartment, not apartment, but a house or condo, something to deal with abandonment. What's the word I'm looking for? What's the term, family? Help me out here. Squatting laws. Thank you. Squatting. When people are squatting, they're using our own laws against us. They're using our own laws against us. And we should not be turning a blind eye. We should not. American families who have been impacted by illegal immigration, think about that. The victims of crimes committed by those who never should have been in the country in the first place. We owe it to them. We owe it to ourselves to uphold our laws and protect our borders. So what's the solution here? Is it simple? We must enforce our existing immigration laws, secure our borders, not have these people to scapegoat their way through asylum seeking and refugees, and hold accountable those who seek to undermine our sovereignty. Yeah. President Obrador stated that Mexico would not be toyed with from the American government. The guy stated, Mr. Jackson stated that Mexico will listen to us. And then the Mexican president said, hey, that's disrespectful. We're a sovereign country. We don't have to listen to you guys. And guess what? We don't have to listen to you. So if the American government is listening to this broadcast, if anyone, let the president know. Foundation of Black Americans, we're not standing for the disrespect. The American people is not standing for the underminement of the working class, the underminement of the people of this country. And we will show you with our vote. We will show you with our non-vote. See, we cannot allow ourselves to be bullied into submission by foreign leaders who prioritize their own interests over ours. See, one thing is asking for the illegal immigrants of Mexican descent to make them legalized citizens and give them work permits. That's a demand because they're in our country illegally. But that's one thing. I understand your stance on that. You don't need those people back in Mexico. You want them to stay in America and overpopulate America and increase crime in America and keep the flow of illegal drugs in America. I get that. I get that. But when you started to really talk about lifting sanctions against Venezuela, and I know what you're implying, where if you lift sanctions against Venezuela, then Venezuela can do business with the world. Thus, that will slow down migrants because that would create jobs. I get it. I understand the political theater. Then lift sanctions against the embargoes of Cuba. But you know what, family? You know what I realized he didn't say in all of that? To lift the sanctions and embargo with Haiti. To stop having colonial powers trying to colonize Haiti. And this is why Haiti is unstable still to this day. That is why Haiti is still unstable. See, the president that was putting his foot down, the president that wasn't allowing Western powers to come in and control their resources, what happened to him, family? He was assassinated. Now they have another president in there who was pretty much running a corrupt country. But now he has to step down because of some guy named Barbecue, a gang leader, a warlord, whatever you want to call him, is taking control of Haiti. So when we look at all these things, if you don't think it's by design, then just look at the results. Don't trust anyone's words. Don't trust mine. Just look at the results. Thank you for joining me here this afternoon. I appreciate your support of Black Logic. Please support the channel by simply hitting the subscribe button and the thumbs up button. Thank you all for joining me here today. And before we leave, family,
at the very same time that refused to give the Negro any land. Through an act of Congress, our government was giving away millions of acres of land in the West and the Midwest, which meant that it was willing to undergird its white peasants from Europe with an economic floor. But not only did they give the land, they built land-grant colleges with government money to teach them how to farm. Not only that, they provided county agents to further their expertise in farming. Not only that, they provided low interest rates in order that they could mechanize their farms. Not only that, today, many of these people are receiving millions of dollars in federal subsidies not to farm, and they are the very people telling the black man that he ought to lift himself by his own bootstraps. And this is what we are faced with, and this is the reality. Now, when we come to Washington, in this campaign, we are coming to get our check.
B1.